Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. Our research team is standing by to help you with the list of top 10 stocks as you begin trade this morning. Anuj, let me start with you. What are you looking at today?
Sonia, looking at stocks which are defending the 20-day moving average. So HDFC Life, I think, is the first one. It's got some bit of a tailwind as well in terms of the financial stocks doing well. So that's the first stock to track. JSW Steel, what the metal stocks are doing is very interesting because they're rising in a rising dollar environment, which is very interesting, and but you respect what the screen is doing, right? So in that case, there's something which these stocks might be factoring in. Again, a stock which has been defending the 20-day moving average. So I think these are two stocks that I'll watch out for today.
Okay, thanks a lot, Anuj, for that. Well, I'm watching out for IndiGo this morning because sources tell us that the Gangwal family is looking to sell some of their stake. They're looking to sell up to 2.8% stake in IndiGo. This is for 2,000 crore rupees, and the indicative price for the IndiGo block deals would be at 1850 rupees, which is a 6.5% discount to the current market price. Now, Rakesh and Shobha Gangwal, as per the June update on the BSE, they together own 23% in IndiGo. And the trust, the Gangwal family and the trust cumulatively own about 36.6% stake. If you remember, 7 months ago, Rakesh Gangwal had stepped down from the IndiGo board, and at that point in time he had indicated that he would sell his entire holding in IndiGo over a period of 5 years. So this doesn't come as a surprise. Nevertheless, just the fact that he's selling stake, there could be an overhang on the stock. But on the flip side, crude has fallen significantly, so that is a tailwind for Interglobe Aviation, and eventually that will help the earnings on which the upside of the stock holds. So I think this news flow will be an overhang, but the market will look forward and look at the crude fall as positive.
Absolutely. The only issue is, as I said, like it happened in case of MGL as well, because you knew that there's one promoter who's going to keep selling. So even the gains would be capped, but at least the downside should be capped because of crude prices and in general the bullish momentum that we have in the market. Now, Ekta yesterday was alerting us about the generic Revlimid, right? And I think Dr. Reddy's launched it, Ekta.
Yes, absolutely. Anuj, it was lucky for us to actually, highlight that for our viewers yesterday. But definitely it is positive news that Dr. Reddy's has finally launched Revlimid generic in the US markets. They had received approval some time ago, so the street was anticipating this particular launch in the month of September. Revlimid generic is a cancer drug. It's generated around $8.5 billion in terms of sales at one point in time before it became generic. Remember, it's already become generic in March of 2022. Dr. Reddy's will be launching it in 6 strengths. We had indicated that yesterday, and they have exclusivity on 2 strengths, which is basically for the next 6 months only Dr. Reddy's will be able to sell the generic version of the 2.5 as well as the 20 mg version of Revlimid in the US markets. And they have volume limited sales till the 30th of Jan 2026, which is with all companies. Now, according to analysts, Dr. Reddy's can probably make around $50 million in FY23, up to $140 to $150 million in FY24, which would result in an EPS addition of anywhere between 30 to over 40 odd rupees, and up to $500 to $600 million in the next 3 years from this particular drug. But I just want to highlight that the street was anticipating this particular launch, so maybe the reaction will not be as much today simply because the street had expected Dr. Reddy's as well as the others to probably launch. So for Cipla, it will be a positive read-through and maybe a sentiment negative for NATCO, because now finally competition is coming in.
All right, Ekta, thanks very much for that. Z is in focus as well. Vahishta has got more. She's standing by. Vahishta, hi, morning.
Hi, good morning, Prashant. Well, LIC has directed Z to call a shareholder meeting on the 14th of October, and this is for approving the merger with Sony. Now, this seems to be a positive development as it is the next concrete step in the NCLT process. Now, prima facie doesn't look like there could be major challenges in terms of the shareholder approval. The Competition Commission of India had earlier observed that the merger could hurt competition and hence a greater scrutiny of the deal was needed. Z had already submitted the TV viewership data for the latest period, which showed that the shares of 4 channels of the merged entity had declined. Also, Z has already received the exchange's approval for the merger with Sony. And if the deal goes through, this could create the second largest entertainment network for India.
Vahishta, thanks a lot for that. Let's now go across to Yash. He's watching out for the data of the life insurance companies. Yash?
Well, that's correct, Anuj. So August data for life insurance companies, the weakest as far as the performance in the month of August is concerned is Max Life Insurance, the listed company being Max Financial Services, and the strongest has been SBI Life Insurance. I mean, we've been repeatedly saying that SBI Life has been performing strong month after month. So as far as the data is concerned for LIC, decent growth. The August premium has grown by about 15% on a year-on-year basis. The retail AP, which is the annualized premium equivalent, that has also seen a growth. It's in the positive territory, 5% growth on a year-on-year basis. Looking at HDFC Life plus Exide Life Insurance, the August premium growing at 15%. Retail AP also showing a growth of about 16%, both on a year-on-year basis. ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, the August premium growing at 11%, not too far from HDFC Life or LIC, and the retail AP also seeing a contraction rather of 14% on a year-on-year basis. Max Life, as I said, weakest set of performance. August premium contracted by 1% on a year-on-year basis. The retail AP also contracted by about 12%. Finally, SBI Life, the strongest one. August premium up 21% on a year-on-year basis, though retail AP has seen some contraction of about 5% on a year-on-year basis.
Okay, APE for the uninformed is the annualized premium equivalent. That is a metric that's used to ascertain the business sales in the life insurance industry. Thanks a lot for that, Yash. Well, let's move on. There's a big fall that we've seen in crude. Manisha is here to give us the impact of that. Manisha.
Thank you for that, Sonia. Well, yes, oil seems to be steadying after that very sharp sell-off that we saw in the overnight markets, down between 5 to 6% for both the crude varieties. You know, interestingly, when you look at this year, we started the year with $78 a barrel. We went all the way up to $123, and we are holding around $88 right now for the Brent prices. We have broken below 90, and that's how we've seen a closing come in as well. But it has to do with the strength in US dollar, the weak economic data that we continue to see from China, and more importantly, the markets will watch out for the new UK PM to unveil any energy rescue plan that might be coming in today. You have Europe energy ministers meeting tomorrow. So the markets do believe that there is some strong steps that Europe especially could be taking to ensure that the prices or the availability and affordability both are not compromised. So that is something that the street is watching out for.
Okay, Manisha, thanks a lot for that. Here's a quick recap of our top stocks with positive news flow. There's Dr. Reddy's, Z Entertainment, HDFC Life, SBI Life, ICICI Pru Life, LIC, while stocks with negative news flow, there's Interglobe Aviation, ONGC, Oil India, Max Financial Services. But Concor was the big stock in focus yesterday. Mangalam is here to tell us what brokerages have made of the move there. Mangalam.
Well, a big move on Concord yesterday from both the lows as well as the highs on account of the finalization of the LLF policy, the details of which are yet to be announced. So the brokerages have written on it. They've written that, you know, while this decision is a key milestone in the path of the company's privatization, and I'm quoting Citi, which has a buy rating and a target price of 735, they say that the impact on Container Corp's LLF outgo will depend on the policy details, which are yet to be announced. And everyone else mirrors the sentiment as well. Credit Suisse, for instance, has a 700 target price, and they say that the LLF issue resolvement, actually a resolution paves the way for divestment, and the benefit may not be passed, the benefit will be passed on to the consumer, so the margin expansion may not be as much as the street may factor in. Nomura has upgraded the stock to buy without changing any of their estimates, as the precise LLF quantum is difficult to determine, and Jefferies too believes that this is a key step in its privatization process. Short point is that the benefits, however, are not yet to be calculated, but this paves the way for divestment. But, you know, that again is a long-drawn thing, so let's see how it pans out today. Yesterday, the stock was up 8% with an open interest jump of 34%. So let's see what happens today.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. That's on Concord. Let's take a quick break, but we'll pose all of these questions to Gurmeet Chadda, the managing partner and CIO at Complete Circle, who will join in for a fundamental stock analysis. Later, we'll also connect with Peter Maguire of XM Australia, as crude oil prices are now at a 7-month low. Stay tuned for that.